We do hope to hear your feedback. And this session will also be recorded. As you can see, we will be sending out the recording afterwards and the slide deck as well. So that being said, I am eager to welcome my speaker. So if we can go to the next slide. So Juliana was born and raised in Mesa, Arizona. She graduated with a degree in communications from the University of Utah. She has 6 children and currently works at Somali American United Council as the senior vice president there. She spends her days there teaching English, citizenship classes, and helping refugees, asylees with their immigration needs for multi-ethnic refugee communities. She's also managing their federal grant where she's training other ECBOs on nonprofit management. She serves on several other nonprofit boards and she helps with her local schools. She has been involved with community affairs for Somali American for as long as she can remember, and she has learned so much from her team and feels blessed to be a small part of her client's immigrant story. So without further ado, I'd love to welcome my wonderful colleague, Juliana Larson, and I pass it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and thank you for being on here today. I hope what I have to share and what we all have to share will be of value. I know your time is valuable as well. And so I really appreciate you logging on and feel like it's an absolute blessing to get to share this experience with all of you. Like Neda introduced, we are here at Somali American United Council of Arizona. We serve multi-ethnic refugees. So our name is Somali American. But we serve, in 2014, we opened our doors to multi-ethnic refugees. We were established here in 2004, and it was established by Dr. Mohammed Ali Abukar. He is from Somalia, and he was asked actually to establish this ethnic community-based organization for Somalis resettling in Phoenix. And then in 2014, we had people from Eritrea, from Ethiopia coming, also looking for an ethnic community-based organization, looking for their community, and there wasn't one. And so case management began for multi-ethnic refugees. Currently, we serve over 7,000 refugee services happen every year at Somali American. We serve clients from over 14 different countries with, I don't know how many languages, 8 to 10 different languages. We have case managers here that serve and speak those languages so that we can help best serve those who come through our doors. Currently, we're heavy Afghan clientele, which many of you might be as well. And I'm so proud of the work that we do here at Somali American United Council. We call, SAUC, you'll see that, S-A-U-C. You'll see that over and over and over again, and we'll refer to that, or just Somali American. But typically our classes, we have less Somalis in our classes than we do we have many Afghans, many people from Congo. We have from Sudan. We have a Congolese case manager right now. Siddiqui, would you like to say hello? I don't know if his okay.
Hello, my name is Siddiqui Jean-Paul Ikebwe, and I'm a vice president, so I'm a case manager, and I assist the people speak Swahili, French, Lingala, and other Central African languages, and also people speak like English, and other people can speak like Somalia with interpretation, and that to assist them. So that's what I do, and I have a lot of stuff else. I'm assisting our clients finding job and housing. So briefly, know what I'm doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we couldn't do it without Siddiqui, and people come from all over the valley to come and get help from him. We also have Asma Yosefi. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Asma Yosefi, and I'm case manager with Somali American United Council, and I just come here 1 year ago, and I visit with all Somali American United Council people, and they are the best people, and they serve multi-ethnic refugee, especially this year for Afghan. They are the best, and every Afghan know about Somali American United Council, not just in Arizona, from all the all 50
states.
50 states of America, from all states. They know about Somali American United Council.
Yes, thank you, Asma. Asma, we could do a whole workshop on asthma and newcomers from our Operation Allies Welcome from Afghanistan. She was part of the evacuation. Asma found us as an ethnic community-based organization and is an incredibly strong and independent woman, and we're so proud of her as well. So thank you. That's a little bit about Somali American, and this is an ethnic community-based organization in Arizona. We don't resettle. We get asked that a lot because we do a lot of resettlement type case management, but we bridge the gap for resettlement agencies to helping our clients become the very best and adapt the very best that they can. Okay, next slide. So I want to ask all of you who are on this call, what are ECBOs? What are ethnic community-based organizations? And what on earth, what do we do? And I would love for a couple of you to unmute and answer that question for me. Really, what are they? Anybody have a good answer for me?
Yes, hello, good afternoon. I think you mentioned very important points, and what people in your organization and others do is just add another layer of assistance and comfort. And I think it's also a bridge between some of the bigger players that don't often, take the time to see who else is around and is supporting. But I think that organizations such as yours are key in making things work. You're a little bit more on the ground and in contact with what is happening on the ground. So you have a better sense, I think, of what needs to happen and what issues need to be advocated for. So I think it's a vital part of the entire ecosystem to have organizations such as yours with the mindset and the willingness to support. And as I said, add that additional layer of support, comfort, and at the end of the day, assistance. Thank you.
Thank you. I love the word support, and I loved that you used the word advocate, because I feel like that is what we do. We support needs, and then we go to bat for our communities who are underserved, and so I love both of those words. We support and we advocate. Anybody else? You're all doing it. What do you do every day? Asma, what is an ethnic community-based organization? The word ethnic is, right? What ethnicity are you? We ask that a lot. Let me ask Asma. Is there an Afghan ethnic community-based organization in Phoenix?
Unfortunately.
No, there's not, is
No.
there? No. So I always would, and I've been doing this for about 6 years, a little over. And I feel like refugees and asylees assimilate. They are resettled as good as their resettlement agencies, and their case manager, and then their ethnic community-based organization. Somalis in Phoenix are resettled well because they have a place where they can go. It's trusted. They know where they can go. They can find it. They hear about it in their community. It's word of mouth. And they say, here, I can get help here. I can get support here. I can get advocacy here because it's their community. I think of it, if I were to be dropped into a different country, I would find people with my common language, my common religion, my common and commonality, so that I can get the best help and resources for the needs that I would have. And so that's the word support and advocate. And I really believe refugees are resettled as good as their ethnic community-based organizations in their communities, in their locations. Is that about right? Any other thoughts? We'll jump to the next slide. I'm going to need a little more participation out of all of you. I teach English here to refugees, and so I'd like to get, I'd like to, participation is key. Okay, so what are ethnic community-based ECBOs and their roles? We defined, really what they are, but ECBOs are based on the principles of mutual aid, refugees helping other refugees. I am not a refugee. Like I said, I'm in Arizona. I was born and raised. I'm as dual and as boring as you could possibly get here. I always say I'm the least diverse person in the room. But they have refugees helping other refugees. On staff at Somali American, there are 2 of us here on staff that are not refugees. Robin Peterson is one. She's on the call as well, and then myself. Everybody else here have been refugees or asylees, and so they understand the conditions. Why do you think that is important, that you have refugees helping other refugees? Any thoughts? Someone's unmuted. They could jump right in.
So the question is, why is it important that refugees help other refugees?
Yes.
Can we have maybe 1 or 2 folks who want to answer that?
Yes, I'd like to chime out and hopefully encourage the rest of the group to maybe voice their opinions. So who understands a refugee better than another refugee? You tell me that. At the end of the day, it just makes sense in every way, so long as the person serving and helping is also aware and understands the laws, rules, and regulations of guidance that they're putting forth to their clients or to the other refugees that they're helping. So common ground exists between them, and it's much easier. The guards are down because there you have another person that has shared your experience, that has shared your journey, that has the understanding, more or less, of what it is that you're seeking and how to guide you best in that effort. So I think it's just a high degree of comfort level between both the service provider and the people that are being served. And with that, I'll just go back over, and I'm just going to point out Dr. Tabassum. I know that she can add many, many words of wisdom to what I just said. Thank you so much.
I can jump in. So I mean, further to what you said, I was a refugee, and I think living the experience there is a big difference between learning about what is refugee or immigrant or living the experience yourself. And this is, I mean, yeah, when you pass through the whole experience, the whole process, there are a lot of details you will not learn by books or, I mean, if you go to school or wherever. So these little details make a big difference. And when you are a refugee trying to support another refugee, you will be aware of all these little details and you can help more. And this is what makes difference.
Thank you. You're absolutely right. That's part of this slide. It talks about with ECBOs and the role, it's that safety, it's that trust. And you do have a level of trust when you speak with someone who has shared your same experience. There's that level of understanding that really that helps. And I see it time and time again when clients come in the office. The minute somebody comes in that speaks their language, or that was an evacuee with them or is from the same country, there is a level of comfort there. And so that is their role. The idea of trusted information and giving good information sometimes is difficult for many ECBOs as well. And so it's interesting because sometimes they'll come in and they'll say, oh, they want to speak with Juliana. Okay, they want to speak with me through a translator, and they think that I might know more than maybe one of their ethnic colleagues. It's not true, but there's a level of trust there. Or maybe before they've been burned by a community member. Maybe they went to a community, another ECBO, and they charged them too much, or they didn't do what they said they were going to. And so that trust is broken. And so giving really good information and making sure that that we are always offering a trusted space and a safe place for our community members. It's a nonprofit. We don't do things for profit. I think all of us know none of us are in this to get rich quick. Nonprofit work is not for that. And unfortunately, there's just not oodles and oodles of money in serving as in a nonprofit sector. And so we want them to feel welcome, safe, and trusted. Any other comments about that?
Yes, I think the word refugee itself, which I am always opposing, it should not be spoken like the refugee. You know, in America, I think there are more population who are refugees, who come here with one reason or other reason. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to leave the home. There are circumstances who force them to leave the homes and come to this place. And here, I feel myself, it is not good word to tell them refugees. So in my understanding, I think then asylum, they have to go through so many processes, then asylum seekers, then after so many years, they can get the green card. Still, I think because I came across with one of their members in resettlement agencies who was, he was a refugee 10 years before. Now he's a citizen. And this was really painful for me. But we are treating here as a, I think it is, he was from from Rwanda, he was from Africa. And they were talking about that person, which I literally felt very badly. And it should not happen. And ethnic community-based organizations should, I think they are doing well jobs here also in Florida, I have seen. But the mindset of the people, they can't change. And the refugee are welcome, but the problem is which they are going through are so many and so vast. First of all, there is a cultural difference, whether they are from Europe, they are from Asia, or from any other part of the country, or they are from Latin America or something else. But here culture is very different, and they have to they are taking some time. I am talking about my Afghans with whom I am dealing, and they are learning. It is from a year, and I think some months they came here, and they are adapting this culture. And I think these ECBOs are doing a great job in they are not helping in the one group. They are every ethnic groups from throughout the world, they are helping. I'm so happy for that, because here in Florida, South Florida, we have so many ECBOs. And this is, but one word I'm just repeating again for refugee, I don't want to listen that word also. Then asylum seeker, oh, he's an asylum seeker. He has enough kids, 10 years, 7 years, 5 years old, still he's called asylum seeker. That I was feeling very bad for him. He was just okay with that, but I felt that because it is a mindset of the people, you know.
Yes.
You can't change the mindset of the people. This is one of this is my thinking. I don't know whether somebody has problem with that, but I think it is not good.
Thank you. And I always, well, when we're talking, because we work with such a diverse group, is they are understanding each individual ethnicity, right? It's not, we always say not every, you know, we blanket terms like a refugee. And when we talk about that, it really is just their immigration status, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's so much more than that. And so rather than, maybe it is a better word than refugee community-based organization, right? We want to target or really talk about their ethnicities and the importance of each ethnicity and understanding the differences in their cultures and their communities. So thank you very much. We'll go to the next slide. Thank you for those definitions. We'll get to, so when I think of a good ECBO, I think about targeting first. Who are you serving, right? Are you going to serve anybody who walks in your doors, or who, right? So when you're gathering or you're starting or you're beginning an ECBO, and it can evolve, but really, who are you serving? Are they underprivileged? Are they those who live just here in Maricopa County, in Phoenix, and Tucson, the whole state of Arizona? Are you broadening your scope there? But who are you serving? And understanding, like I just said, who they are, not just where they came from, but really who they are. And then what is the scope of your work? What's your purpose? Is your purpose to help? Is your purpose to assimilate? Is your purpose to make them feel welcome? Is your purpose to show them that there are communities that do care about them, who want them here? Then what is your scope of work? That just means I think of a scope being narrow, right? Sometimes if we try to do too much, we don't do anything very well. And so narrowing our scope, narrowing those services that we can provide and provide them well and effectively, and then creating a mission statement. I want to ask one ECBO to hop on and tell me what their mission statement is and why do you think that's important? Someone give me an idea. What is your mission statement for your ECBO? You have it
Or
hand?
if you want to type it in the chat box as well, and we can read it for you.
Great. And I can't find my chat box. I did something to this, and so it's not being very nice to me today.
Anyone who would like to share if you run your own ECBO organization?
Anybody?
Not, it's okay.
I'm sorry. What was the question? What was the question about the ECBO again?
Yes.
Sorry,
So,
this is Joseph.
So who are you serving? What is the scope of your work? But I'd like to know if you've created a mission statement, why you think a mission statement's important, and maybe share your mission statement with us tonight. What would be an example of a mission statement? Why is that important?
Well, the mission statement is very important in the sense that it says something about that organization, your reason of being. Why do you exist for the first place? So that addresses the mission statement.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do you want to share yours with us?
I'm part of a community-based organization, but you know what? And that's very important that everyone knows the mission statement to the best. Unfortunately, I can't right now.
No, that's okay. It's probably hanging in an office somewhere. So many of you are doing these from home and not in an office, and that's okay. I think a mission statement too kind of holds us accountable. If we review that, are we doing what we say what we said we're going to do, right? It's a statement. It's saying we will serve you. We will do it well. And this is why. And so I think reviewing that mission statement, tweaking it because ECBOs evolve, and then revisiting that, and it holds us accountable. It says, yes, we're continuously doing what we said we would do. And so there's a sense of accountability with the mission statement. And I think they're important. It reminds us who we're serving and then what we're doing to serve these people that need our help so desperately. Thank you. Next slide. Any other comments about that? We're going to run through these fast. Okay. We went over the why ECBOs are important, but why are collaborations important? For me, we know the whys, right? Again, refugees and underserved populations they resettle as well as a good ECBO can help them. And so again, they find their communities. You're brand new in this country. Where are you going? You're going to find those people who speak your language, who look like you, who understand your needs, and then they circulate. And it is so fast. When people come through our door, I'm like, how did you find us? Our name is Somali American, and we have people from all ethnicities that come in here. And it's because communities talk, they speak. They are worshiping together at mosque on Fridays. They are, or on Saturdays at their Seventh-day Adventist church, or they're worshiping together. They're speaking, they're working together, and they're finding people that speak their language. And so they'll say, oh, you can go get help at this point, at this place, and these people will help you. They're not going to turn you away. They will return your phone calls, maybe when their resettlement agency has stopped those services. And so they find they still need help. They still need services. They still need support. And advocacy. So collaborations, why are they important? They continue to work to build those bridges. We need to share resources. If our scope is narrow, collaboration is key. There are things that Somali American does extremely well. There are things that we don't do all that well. And so we can collaborate with organizations and say, you know what, I'm not the best person for this service, but I can help you find out who is. I can point you in the right direction. I can share resources with you because we collaborate with another trusted, safe organization that we have vetted and we know and we understand they do good work. And so if we can't do it, we know exactly where you can go and get the help that you need. And so for me, collaborations are key. Also, funding and grants, we're going to get to that, but collaborations are key for money. And so, so reaching out to colleges, reaching out to universities. We have several, ASU, we just got, yes, of course we'll send out your flyer for education and for Arizona State University students. We collaborate with a lot of health professionals. Mayo Clinic, which is one of the best in the nation, comes. We have student groups that come and work with our students. Dental groups. Of course, we collaborate with all of the resettlement agencies and we have good relationships with them. We collaborate with the state and make sure that we're all doing the very best work that we can for the population that we serve in Arizona. We share resources. We collaborate with preschools. We collaborate with high schools and junior highs and elementary schools. We collaborate with You're All America and different advocacy groups, Gathering Humanities or people that set up apartments. We collaborate with other nonprofits and organizations because we can't do it all. Most of our ECBOs are funded on a shoestring, and we're also, we don't have a large staff. And so we have to use our collaborations and use them wisely. Make sure you're collaborating with the correct people. Make sure you're collaborating with people that you would send your brothers and sisters to. Does that make sense? Okay, let's go to the next slide. Successful ECBO models. Let's talk a lot about that. I'm just going to share something quickly. We received, a little over 3 years ago, we received a federal grant. We applied for this grant. It was an ECBO grant. We started with 12 ECBOs that we were going to train to be successful ECBO. We have a successful model, and so we wanted to share that because we are one organization. So we started with 3 Sudanese organizations, 3 Congolese, a Syrian group, an Iraqi a group. There wasn't any from Afghanistan. We don't have any here. I can't remember all of them. We started with all of these organizations, and that was 3 years ago. By year 3, we were down to 4, and we just got a tiny extension, and we are now funding 2. These so we have a little experience in what has made a successful ECBO and what doesn't. We have trained, we have worked with, we actually, the grant money that we received, we give to these ECBOs every month. They are taking, or we give them the grant money, and because we're collaborating them, but mostly because we wanted to try to help replicate the things that Somali American does for other ethnic community-based organizations. So we started with 12, and now we are funding 2. So I want to hear from you. What do you think makes a successful ECBO model? Any thoughts?
Hello?
Yes.
I like the question, but I think I came in a little late. Somebody helped me to furnish me with the information. I think Joe Sacco gave me the information. I'm a community leader. I'm an African. I think a lot of what you're saying right now kind of, I think it kind of relates to what we do here as an African organization. But I'd like to know because I came late, I'd like to know what is ECBO before I even go further. So can you please elaborate on that?
Sure, an ECBO is an ethnic community-based organization. So
okay.
it is a, typically you have refugees such as yourself, helping other refugees from the countries that you represent or the country that maybe you are familiar with or that you have come from. And it is refugees helping refugees. It's typically a nonprofit. And what makes you successful? What is a successful ECBO model? So I'm asking you, why or how can you create a successful ECBO model?
Yes. Okay. I think, I don't know if I got the definition, but I don't know if my model is a good one. What makes a great ECBO organization is, I think, your ability to live up to your mission statement, your ability to collaborate with other organizations, because it is only so through collaboration with people that you will be able to expand, beyond and learn more and bringing benefits to your people. One thing that I have, coached myself to do as a community leader is to go out there and visit and be a part of every invitation that I have been given, I've been granted. I go there, I learn, I speak to, state officials, try to get, more information and bring to my people, invite people to come over to give workshops and other things. So I do different things. So I believe my people are benefiting from it because, for instance, I have managed to ensure that my people are very well involved into the political system. Yeah, I live in Philadelphia. Okay. So I teach them how to go out there to fill out, voter registration and take them to interviews to become citizens and all of that. So I fetch resources from everywhere. So my ability to reach out to different organizations outside of my community has given me, the experience, and the ability to even bring more resources to my people, and they are indeed benefiting from it. For example, also, I have managed to teach a lot of my people and how to. Many of my people did not know how to phone banking system, how to do phone banking in order to participate into the political process. We struggle with it, but I had to go out to bring some people to help us, to be able to get few staff, to understand how to do it. So this time we have more people. When we try to protest for something as a community, going to the city hall to talk about our interest and all that, we do phone banking and send information out to our people. The information is received very quickly, and we are able to converge immediately to send our messages out. So I think, I don't know.
No,
I don't know if that'll do it.
It is. It's doing, like you said about the mission statement, being involved in your community, showing up, right? Showing up for them and being an advocate. If you'll go to the next slide, the bullet points will go over really how to be a successful ECBO. You have nonprofit management training. We'll go through some of these. Accountability and financial reporting training, right? Accountability is huge. You can be the best ECBO leader on the planet, and you could have feel like, yes, I've done this today, and pat yourself on the back. But if you're not keeping records, and if you're receiving money and you're not accountable for that money, it's not sustainable. Okay, you have to have accountability, and we're going to go over why that's important. And it's really about money, accountability, and financial reporting. With our services that we provided for our ECBOs when they first started and they signed up, we did management training. Who are you leading? If you're a leader, where are your the people you're leading or you're serving? Accountability and financial reporting training, documents, signatures, and of course, confidentialities, roles and responsibilities of a board member. Your employees should have roles, specific roles, and there should be responsibilities for board members and then also for the employees. Leadership development, constant training on that leadership developing so we can be better leaders. Again, I think we saw in the last with COVID-19, and then also with the crisis in Afghanistan, now with Ukrainians coming in, this work is forever changing. It's evolving. We call ourselves the center of adaptation. We have to adapt to the needs in the communities. And so that leadership training, that leadership developing, and there's turnover in nonprofits as well. And so we have to continue to develop our leadership and our leadership models. Grants, and then again, transparency. I can use that word over and over and over again. Transparency, accountability, transparency, accountability. And then grants. We know that's probably why you're all on, is how do we get money? How do we get funding? It's extremely difficult, but I'm hoping by the end of this, we'll have some ideas with that accountability and development, using words in our grants like those words, and also collaboration. You'll find more money collaborating with other organizations than anywhere, even though maybe sometimes we feel like we're competing, we're not. These grants are available, and then tapping into those resources. But you might get a grant once, but you're not going to get it again if you don't do what you say you're going to do, if you don't have transparency and accountability for the people that you're serving. Data management and reporting. The hardest job of any ECBOs are logging into whatever your state or government officials require you to do with grants. There's that accountability. Data management is also key. Reporting and tracking. What are our results? Okay, we have all of these people we're serving, when we're advocating for and we're supporting. Are we really helping? Are we really doing work that's going to help them achieve that self-sufficiency that they are looking for in this country? And then keeping good track of that. And then confidentiality laws and policies. We are serving a vulnerable population. We are serving people that are coming to us because they trust us. We're not sharing their information. We don't share, we don't sell, we don't do anything like that. And I know we've had experiences, and that's why I say that. I don't think anyone on this call would do anything like that, but we have had one of our ethnic community-based organizations use information, and they broke that confidentiality law. And then procedures for developing partnerships with mainstream community organizations, such as law enforcement, school districts, universities, churches, financial institutions, et cetera, et cetera. So all of those things, all of those bullet points will help with grants, but I put accountability up there at the very, you know, that's the biggest one, our superhero holding up accountability, because to really be the very best ECBO that we can be, we have to be accountable to the people who are funding us, accountable to the people who work here, or work with you, and especially accountable to the people that we're serving, those communities, because they are so underserved. We need to be accountable to them. And they, again, that word of mouth. I always think, why are so many people coming through our doors? It's because we do good work, and the services we provide, we hold accountability.
Yes.
Asma, do you have something to say about that?
Yes, and we always be honest with people, and we never do something wrong with people. If we say something, we really do it, and we really did for all the people. As the experience I have the last year, from August 21 to right now, when we don't have anything, when we didn't have any support, not just me, about 1,000 people from Afghanistan, they come to Somali American United Council because they make they do all the things honestly, and this is the base things that I love from Somali American United Council. Not just me, 1,000 people from Afghanistan, 1,000 new Afghan arrival from Afghanistan to Arizona. We trust them, and when all the time they work honestly with people, not with just Afghan, with all the words.
Thank you. And so that trust, and again, that word of mouth, we've served over 1,000 of our new Afghan arrivals, over 1,000. Yes. And our numbers are small, but we do it, and we do it with accountability and transparency. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a comment. My name is Vice Ramsey, Housing and Welcome and Navigator. Thank you so much, Julian, and your staff to help to Afghan refugee in Arizona. Really, I send a lot of money to your organization. Really, you. Thank you so much for you guys. I have very good feedback for Afghan community for new arrival in Arizona. Yeah, just thank you.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. Thank you. We have worked hard, and we couldn't have done it with it helps to have Afghans on staff, and it has not been easy, but it has definitely been the very best work, and we have met some incredible people, and I think and we base a lot of our work is through volunteers, and that's another thing I really want to tap into when you are collaborating and looking for help. Utilize volunteers, get their information and utilize volunteers. That will, because you can't do it on your own. And so we have an incredible volunteer base as well. And that fluctuates, but it's really important for our ECBOs to utilize volunteers, and that also, and get a diverse group of volunteers as well. That will help you tap into more and more resources as you're looking for help and funding. That's key. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, let's talk about our challenges as ECBOs. I could give you a long list, but I want to hear from you. We're going to take just a few minutes and go over challenges. And I know money is the biggest challenge. Anybody? Yes, everybody could say funding, funding, funding. I always will say that, you know, the word refugee, especially in Arizona, because we're close to the border, and I'm assuming Texas, I don't know how many Texans we have on the call, but if you have, depending on the makeup of your state, using the word refugee is a tough sell, okay? It is not a word that everybody is thrilled about in this country. And so funding, I would think for most ethnic community-based organizations is your biggest challenge. I want to hear a few other challenges. What do you see in your communities? What's the most difficult thing that you face? Would anyone like to hop on?
Yeah, hello?
Yes.
All right. Once again, my name is Abubakar Salik. I just spoke about, you know, when you asked the other question about what makes a ECBO, what makes a great ECBO. I was the gentleman talking there.
Yes.
One of the challenges that I face, you know, as a community leader is to be able to accommodate newcomers who have come from, you know, probably Africa, you know, and to trying to adjust to the system. So you will have to avail yourself to them to be able to accommodate their needs. Sometimes they want to get jobs. You know, their children want to get into school. They want to try to get paperwork. They want to get, you know, immigration paperwork done. So you now, without you, because your organization is not funded, you know, you are doing this, you know, just as on a voluntary basis. You're not getting paid. So you have to leave your job, you know, and the people that you are, you have people that will agree to volunteer to do the job, but then because they're not getting paid, you will have to go after them to try to appeal to them to kindly help you so that you guys can work on it. Sometimes you get 2, 3, 4, 5 people who want assistance. You know, they want to get jobs, they want to get into school, they don't know how to fill out the FAFSA paper in order to get, you know, get into school and all of that. So you have to leave your work now and focus on those things because you are not getting any pay for it. And then your only source of income is your job. You have to leave that or take off to attend to that. That's a real big challenge because your organization is not one that is being funded, you know, but people depend on you because at least you understand the system. So you want them to be able to get adjusted to the system. So that's very difficult.
Thank you. And what I would say is to find those, that's why that collaboration is key. You know, if you have a new arrival refugee that needs to be in school, that is part of the resettlement process. Finding out who is your case manager and then contacting them. Sometimes if there's an advocate that the case manager or there's someone in your ethnic community-based organization contacts the case manager and they say, you hold them accountable for maybe some of those things. And so that's why collaborating with the resettlement agencies and I mean, again, we could do a whole nother Zoom call about resettlement agencies. I'm not here to bash them at all. Their job and work is very challenging as well. But being an advocate for that and maybe understanding those roles as well, and then what you can help with, because resettlement is no joke. I mean, it can be an overwhelming process, and so maybe finding those resources, or you know, who can help best do that. There are organizations that help fill out FAFSA in Phoenix. I don't do that. I know exactly the good nonprofits that'll do that for the youth that come through our office. And so referring them out to the very best people or the very best organizations, because we can't do all of those things. It's impossible. It really is impossible. Let's do one other challenge. And I think I've got like 5 minutes left and we want to talk about money. So actually we'll jump to money because I know you're all here for funding. I can't give you any funding, by the way, but we can talk about it.
Yeah, my name is Paul Mwingwa from Montana. Yeah, the challenge is to get a good collaboration with the local organization. When they saw how refugees went to come together to try to overcome their own problem and to make some little organization, they think that refugees want to know where the funds come from to help them, and they want to remove them for that position. Having that challenge us to make us together to fight for our problem. Yeah, that is a big huge for us. Thank you.
And I find that a lot too in Phoenix. Again, we had 3 Sudanese organizations and they felt like they were more in competition than collaborating. And so we have to be willing to sit at the same table. We have to be willing to all have that same mission statement, right? We are here to help. We are here to support. We are here to advocate. And so maybe coming together with other good ethnic community-based organizations and then sharing that information. So often we say we work in our own silos, right? We don't want to share because what if they take our clients, or what if this, or what if that is. If our purpose and our mission really is to support and advocate for the underserved and underprivileged, then we have to be willing to work together. We have to be willing to share those resources. What we did here was very unique in saying we're going to work with other ECBOs. We're going to give them our money. We've been doing that the last 3 years. We've been holding them accountable. We've been asking for, okay, show me. I want to see the documents that you're, show me who you're helping. And then we can give you your funding, but not until then. So we tried to do kind of a mini grant where then they can go out and find their own funding and they'll know how to be accountable for that funding. So when we reach other ECBOs and other in our state or in our city, who's doing it well, and then find out, see if they are willing to collaborate with you and let them know these are our strengths. I see this is your strength. Are you willing to collaborate with us? And going after that, those mutual collaborations, I think are key. Finding service organizations, universities are always big, and finding those willing to kind of come and help volunteer. Fundraising tips, I kind of went over that. If you want to fundraising tips for us, social media is a huge way to fundraise, to help boost your fundraisers. Videos, Asma always says, we have to video more, we have to share more stories. That's her, she always tells us we have to do more of that. I'm horrible at that because I never want to exploit or manipulate a situation. But it is a way to help getting fundraising tips. Collaboration. Again, showing people that you are where you're supposed to be, that you really are helping, that you really are doing what your mission statement says. And then word of mouth does get out there. People will start to take notice. Going after grants, going after grant writers, using words, narrowing a scope with children, with women. Right now, Afghan money is out there. And so that is who is being funded, who is serving Afghans, who is serving these communities, and finding out, what you do best, and then going after that kind of funding. I'm going to open it up for questions. I'm sorry we are out of time. Neda, how are we doing on time?
Yeah, so I know we are at time, so thank you so much for everyone who joined. If Juliana, you're okay sticking around for 5 minutes, if anyone has questions, we can answer questions. Otherwise, we understand if you need to hop off. Thank you so much. We will send out the recording, but if anyone has questions, we will open it up now.
Thank you.
Yeah, hello?
Yes.
Okay, this is Abubakar once again. Sometimes one of the challenges that people have is to, you know, I've been struggling with how to write grant, you know. So I mean, that's something that we want to have in our community, to have people who can write grant for our different organizations. And how can we continue to communicate with you people with some of the issues that we have? So what are, you know, some ways that we can continue to liaise with your organization in order to make some progress in our community? You know, because right now we are struggling because we do not have the requisite resources to be able to actually move. Like the gentleman who just spoke, he was right. Sometimes you have different organizations. Some organizations are making progress, but they do not want other organizations who are just coming up to make any progress. So on that note, they try to kind of conceal information, you know, that will help other organizations to make progress as well. So we have all of those things. But mainly, we want to get help with writing grants. That's one. Number two, because no organization can really function properly without some funding. So if we can have people in our organization that know how to write grants, we will appreciate it, and we want to continue to collaborate with you people. So what are the ways we can do that? That's my question.
Okay. And Nada, I think there will be, maybe there was a grant writing workshop or something that will come up. I think, you know, starting with your state, because it's different, there's different funding for different, you know, every state has different funding, getting to know maybe some of those community leaders, like government community leaders too. I always say it takes money to make money, which is, it's a horrible, it's awful. And I know that, or yes, some of these bigger organizations are like, how could they possibly need $1 more when we are barely keeping the lights on in our ethnic community-based organization? And that feels so frustrating. It feels frustrating to me. I have lamented more times than you could imagine about funding, because I see the big organizations who have all the money and get they can write all the grants, and then they get it. And then we're stuck here struggling. And you are not alone. I think that is something that all ethnic community-based organizations struggle with. Being on this call is a wonderful start. Connection, like you said, being connection there. There are counties that will help. You may have to pay a grant writer, making sure that you have, you know, that you're up to date on SAMs, that you're up to date on your insurance, you know, all of those things that you need to ensure that you're even eligible for a grant. And so maybe understanding that first, and really what kind of money can you go after that. And starting small, you know, we always say, hey, 1,000, you know, people go after these, oh, we need huge grants. Well, enough small grants can help build a really good ECBO. Our first federal grant here at Somali American was 2016, or state grant. Before that, it was funded by the community members. They paid a $20 due here or there. It is mind-boggling to me that that's how these lights stayed on. And since 2016, we have gone after money, and we've won some grants, and we've lost more than we should have, to be honest with you.
I would also add, like, building relationships with foundations and funders and private donors, you know, starting to build that base. And I think it does take time. And I would just say, you know, we do plan to have grant writing workshops in the near future, so we can definitely share those resources with you in those future workshops. And I think I do see another question in the chat box, which asks from Joelle, what did you find was the most challenging for the ECBO groups you are funding through your success efforts? So what was the most challenging part of that?
Transparency and having records, having them document. And that was part of our requirement. Coming to trainings is easy, right? We provided trainings on how we gave everybody a laptop. This is what a government agency would require if you're going to receive grants. But having the follow through of really the proof of their work, or that accountability and transparency, that was the most difficult part. We had organizations that just said, yeah, we don't want to tell you what we're doing or who we're serving, or not that they couldn't support it. They couldn't back it up with documentation, or they would say they were serving all of these people, but where are they? Who are they? And then what was it that you were doing? And so having that, the documentation was the greatest challenge. And that was a requirement. We had them sign that contract. We said, we want to know we want to know your scope. We want to know your mission statement. And then we want you to show us the proof with a name. And then what services did you provide? And any grant you receive, especially these federal grants, especially these state grants, you have to show documentation. And you're audited, and then they'll come in and they'll ask for all of those records. And so it's very difficult. It's difficult to get those that documentation, and then really keeping up on that documentation. So that was our biggest challenge, I would say, with those groups. The two that are left that we are still funding are those that every month they came and they showed record. This is who we've served. This is what we've done. Here's a picture of it. And that's what we required of them. So really the other groups couldn't, there were some that flat refused to commit. Oh yeah, this is too much work. Oh, okay. Thank you. And so we required a lot of them, and mostly it was just proof and documentation.
And I think also part of this learning process is it's a learning curve that for us who are former refugees starting ECBO organizations, it's not like back home. It's a different system here in the States, right? Where it's different protocol, different laws and procedures. So I think that's part of it. And also the other aspect to it too is that we are working with potentially government systems. If you're getting city, state, or federal funding, where they may not understand or have worked with refugee populations before. And so it may be a new process for them to work with ECBOs. They may have not had that experience. So it may be a learning curve for them as well, which I know we've experienced here in the city of working with, entities like the city of Phoenix.
Yes.
So yeah.
100%. And how great that you have the opportunity to educate your politicians or educate the cities that you're serving, and those community, those civic leaders. Nada and I had an experience. We were in a meeting and they said, well, we've never worked with refugee organizations, and our minds were blown. I thought, in Phoenix, really? Because we have pretty heavy refugee populations. And I'm speaking with city officials who had they didn't understand, and they had never worked with refugee populations. For me, I was, first of all, of course, I was so angry. And then I calmed down a little bit, but, and then we began to educate. Well, let me tell you what it's like, and let me tell you why maybe we're experiencing this challenge and this barrier. And so once we can help each other, really we need to educate each other on best practices for city funding, and also for our funding. So thank you, Nada, for bringing that up.
So if there are no other questions, we're going to go ahead and conclude. Juliana, maybe if you are comfortable putting your email in the chat box, if folks have other questions.
I lost my chat box. You wouldn't believe how this is.
I can put your email. But thank you all so much for joining us. We're going to send the recording and the slide deck and send out future workshop information. Thank you so much for joining us, and you all have a good night.
Thank you so much. It was a great pleasure meeting you people. We learned a lot in a very short period of time.
Keep up the good work. I know you are in the trenches and doing such good work. Thank you. Thank you.